Alright, hello. So, it's time to explain everything about the new Void, really. So these are relics. This is your Relic Station. You get the segment for this at one of the first junctions that you're going to clear as a new player, coming off of Earth. And this is what you're going to see when you get here. Actually, well, probably not. You're not going to have all these relics if you're a newer player, but if your relics got converted, you should generally be seeing this. And you'll see that there are 4 eras. These are essentially the 4 tiers. And inside each tier, there are 7 different relics. And the way that these relics work is that each one, of course, has a different set of drops. And you're going to see here that they have these little bars, which we'll explain in a moment. But each one of these will have a different set of items within it. Tier 2, again, another different set of items. And Tier 4. But let's focus on one relic for now. So if we look at this Meso D1 relic, you'll see that these ones have full bars. Well, nearly full bars. Then the Orthos and the Forma have about half full bars. And the bottom one is almost, like, basically nothing. So these translate to your drop chances and are modified by your refinement of the relic. So for these first 3, these all have a drop chance of 76% if you were to run this relic. These next 2 have a drop chance of 22% each if you were to run this relic. And this one down here has a 2% chance. This is the rare for this relic. Each relic only has 1 rare, 2 uncommons, and 3 commons. And that initially may sound like some pretty poor chances to get the rare. But you can run this with a full party, everyone running Meso D1 relics, and you get 4 rewards at the end of the mission, and you can pick other people's rewards, so you'll get whatever you want from what dropped from 4 different keys at the same time, essentially. And also, you can refine them with void traces. So if we go down here, as we hover over these, they will adjust the bars to show you the roughness of, like, their percent drop chances changing. So for exceptional, the bars change just a little bit. Your commons go to 70%, your uncommons go to 26%, and your rare becomes 4%, which is double, obviously, which is pretty good for 25 void traces. Flawless, moving to flawless, it's 60% for commons, 34% for uncommons, and 6% for rares. And for radiant relics, you'll get 50% for commons, 40% for uncommons, and 10% for rares. So across 4 different players doing this, your chances are improved quite a bit. The thing to do this, though, is void traces, and the way that you get void traces is by running relics. The enemies and the void tears themselves will give you traces whenever you run it, and it's the Xmas enemies that show up there that will drop traces. I would suggest, if you're building a party to go farm these, definitely bring a Necros, like, absolutely, and maybe a Navara if you're feeling frisky. But in general, this system is way faster for farming stuff, like significantly faster. On the other hand, we're going to get less junk because of it, so that's going to affect ducats and borrow prices and stuff like that. But let's just let's run one of these. I know there's a good T2 mission up right now, so let's see if there's anything I want here. Let's see. Former blueprints right there. That's actually not bad. I wouldn't mind that. Talk Prime handle before it gets vaulted. That seems pretty reasonable. So I'm going to run a Meso B1 relic. And I could increase my chances, obviously, because I have 50 void traces. It's worth noting, though, that if we go over here, keys, void traces are now used to make dragon keys. So if you're a new player, this is what you should be doing with your traces. Dragon keys are infinitesimally more important than getting, like, some prime parts. Way more important for a new player. Like, if you are a new player, you absolutely need dragon keys, and you want to be running vaults pretty much as soon as you can. So keep that in mind. Don't blow all your traces on trying to farm a prime part if you're newer, because you're going to need dragon keys. But let's go on over here. This menu is where all of your visors will show, and basically the mission that you get here it's a regular mission, but also there's a void tear on the mission, and running the void tear will give you your prime part. So we're gonna run Lex, because it's capture relatively quick, and we decided on the Meso B1 Relic. So, it'll probably match me with a party just so I can show the multiple picking, but let's go. This should be relatively easy, and I'll try and explain everything I can about Visors. Alright. So, headed in. So it's worth noting that as of right now, Visors are not marked on your map, so you're going to have to be on the lookout for them, like, pretty specifically. They're big, glowing, and yellow, so they're not terribly difficult to find, but they are not marked on your map, so that's something to note. They probably should be, and hopefully they are in a future update, but for now, they are not. Also, while we're looking for it, I suppose, I'll give like my minor review of the Kavat. Them showing purple through walls is the Kavat's doing with its Sense Danger ability. Let's get rid of this capture target. Also, here's the Visor right here. That's pretty nice. That door closed, that's fine. Okay, so that's actually really convenient. This is the Visor right here. So whenever you open the Visor, a bunch of corrupted enemies are going to show up, so probably clear the area at least a little bit before you attempt to start this. When you start it up, you'll lose a little bit of energy. It'll drain a little bit of energy from the entire party, so be aware of that. Once you open it, enemies that you kill will drop little packs that you can put into the Void that will charge it up. Now, the key here is that you don't want to seal the Visor too fast. You'll have 3 minutes to seal it, and once you do that, the enemies will cease to spawn. So what you want to do is get it to 90%, clear all the enemies so you can get as many traces as possible, and then seal the Visor. That's what your goal is, to kind of maximize your farming. So let's get this started. You see I lost some energy there, which is why I left these orbs here. You'll see the sealing Visor at the top with 2 minutes and 50 seconds. And these items here are what you're going to be you just jump into the Void Visor to put them there. Nullifiers can just spawn on you, which is a bit annoying. That right there, that little that like thicker orb, that was a trace. Nice. Oh yeah, also my Kavat is giving me like only red crits right now. It's fucking awesome. I'm using the luck-based cat. This is one of the things that it can do randomly. Yeah, sealing the Visor too fast is bad. That is a thing you want to avoid at all costs. Ooh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Ah, I forgot to put on Shatter Shield. A little low on energy over here. Okay, so we're at 90%, and it's sealed now. I presume we cleaned up. And you just want to be on the lookout for these traces, because there's 3 right there. Some will always come out of the tear, so you don't really have to be worried about that in a great capacity. That's the thing that killed me. So we'll get rid of that. Okay, get rid of that Syndicate attacking us. Okay, basically you just want to like make sure you grab all the traces that you can. On this run I got 11. That's about normal, I've found, with the traces that I've run so far. Bringing in Necros or other like loot increasing ones obviously will increase the amount of traces that you get. But let's get out of here and see what we got so we can show the end screen. Yeah, generally that's how tears go though. Just make sure you don't complete them too quickly, because it will severely hamper how many traces you get, getting like 2 or 3. So, this is what we have here. Saren Prime Systems, Fang Prime Handle, Ash Prime. You can choose whatever you want. I think I'm going to go with the Mag Prime chest. Well, no, I'll go with the Ash part, actually. Do I want that? Yeah, I'll probably go with that. When people stack on another person's reward, you also get bonus traces. The person, like, if you got the reward that is this Ash helmet, and 3 people also pick that, you get extra traces because of that, which is kind of a nice little bonus. I think it maybe should be a little bit more bonus traces, but not a big deal. But yeah, that's how you run Void Fissures. They're relatively simple. I think they're kind of fun. They take you to a lot of different missions in general, and you can kind of pick, because the fissures rotate between a lot of different missions, you can pick what type of mission you want to do, which is a lot better than what we had originally in the Void, which is like, do defense, do T4 defense for 5 hours. This is a lot better. Like, if you want, it's like, oh, I prefer to run an exterminate for this. That seems like a thing that I would like to do. Oh, I like rescues, I want to do that, so you go here, and then these will rotate relatively quickly. They do stick around for a while, so you can farm like the one that you want for quite some time. Like, this has like an hour and 10 minutes left on it, so you could really go hard on that if you wanted to, which is also nice. Yeah, there's a good amount of choice there. Yeah, in general, that's kind of what's going on there. The most important thing to remember is that, like, traces are also important for Dragon Keys. And since Dragon Keys unlock most of, like, the best mods in the game that you definitely want, you're going to want to keep that in mind. But if you're trying to weight your chances, I would absolutely suggest that you do an upgrade mostly only for the rares. Upgrading for the uncommons is, like, reasonable, but maybe kind of a waste. That's just my opinion. Obviously, I told you the drop chances. Go with what you feel comfortable with. And I'll see you tomorrow.